The list module has been updated to include 3 different layouts that you can select from. When you insert your list, you can now select from one of the 3 following layouts: the table layout, the A to Z index, or the directory. This is an example of the table layout. You can see it's set up like a table with the different columns in the top row. If I scroll to the bottom, you will see that to advance to the next page, I simply click on the corresponding number. This is an example of the A to Z layout. The A to Z layout allows you to select one field to show, and it also has the alphabet listed at the very top for easy and quick navigation. Simply click on the letter, and they are brought to that section. You can also type in the filter field, and you are brought up the results below. Lastly is the directory layout, which is a combination of the table and the A to Z layout. It displays like the table layout, whereas it has the columns at the top, but then it also has the alphabet A to Z at the very top of the table. You can then also click in the filter link here, begin to type in a person's name. When you click on filter, it will show just those entries. Now let's walk through adding the list module to your CMS site. So what you'll want to do is log into your CMS administrator, and then from the left-hand side, click on Manage Modules. From here, you will want to click on the button that says New Module, and then from this drop-down, select Lists. I'd advise you to give this an alias title so that you have a better understanding of what the list is down the road. We'll call this one Staff. When done, click on Submit. If you're going to be creating a list from scratch, you are first going to want to click on the Manage Columns button here. From here, you are going to want to click on the button that says Add Column. This is going to be adding the columns at the very top of your list. So for this example, I'm going to name a column first name. Underneath column type, I'm going to select that it is text. Under column format, I'm going to select plain text. And then I do not want it to display as a filter, and I do want to display it on list. If I wanted to hide this column, I could uncheck this box here. Now that I'm done, I'm going to click on Save, and that column is added. Now that I've created some of the columns, I'm going to go back to the list and begin to put in some of the entries. So I'm going to click on the Back to List button, and now I'm going to click on the button that says Add New Record. I'm now going to add in a few individuals here. And you see if I hit Save, it adds in that entry. I could then go to Add New Record. I can type in another person's name. And if I click this button that says Save and Add Another Record, I'm instantly brought to another page here. I'm going to add in a few more entries here. You can see now I have my list begun, and I have 4 different entries in there right now. Now another thing you can do is if you have your data already in a spreadsheet, so for example, this particular spreadsheet here, you could also import this data into your list. Let me show you how to do that. First, I'm going to click on the button that says Import Data, and then from here, it'll ask me to import the file. I'm going to click on the button that says Choose File, and then I will select this spreadsheet here that's called IM Contact List. I'm going to say Open, and once that's uploaded, I'm going to say Continue. From here, you can see that it begins to match the row to the column. So for example, the column that we created called Last Name, it is trying to match up to these rows here. So row 1, you can see has just the names. So last name, first name, state. I'm going to check this box that says Skip. Now I can look here and I can tell that these in fact are the last names. The second column here is for first name, and I can see those are in fact the first names as well. If for whatever reason they are mixed up, you can click on this drop down here and you can select the other option that it's supposed to be. You could also click on Ignore, or you can add a new column. So for this list, it looks like we're all set. The last name is lining up with the last name, first name with the first name, and the state with the state. Now I'm going to click Import. And now you will see that all of those names have been successfully imported. One thing to note if you are going to use the import data function is that the data must be in an XLS, an XLSX, or a CSV file. Now that we've created the list, let's add this module to one of our CMS pages. I'm going to click on Content on the left-hand side, find the page that I wish to edit and add this module to, and then when I get to this page, on the right-hand side, I'm going to scroll down and find the icon that looks like this and says Modules. From here, I'm going to scroll down and find the List section and find the list that we created called Staff. Now that it's added to the page, I'm going to click on it and expand it across the 3 columns. You don't have to do that. This is just a matter of preference. Once done, I'm going to click on Publish. Now let's take a look at what that list looks like. So here's the page I just added it to. I'm going to click on the magnifying glass here for a preview, and it opens up, and there's our module right there. Now this is using the table layout. Let's say that I want to use the directory layout for this particular list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my CMS, and I'm going to click on the Edit button where this page is located. From here, I'm going to double click on the staff list that we've created, and I'm going to change the layout here from table down to directory. Once that's done, click Save Changes, and then click Publish. So now let's go take a look at the changes that we just made. So I'm back at the CMS, and I'm on the content link on the left-hand side. From here, I'm going to click on the preview next to the page that I just changed. You will see that this page opened up, and it is in fact using the directory layout. However, let's say I take a look at this link, and I decide that I want to change how it's sorted. Because currently it's sorted by the first name. Let's say I want to sort this by the last name. Let me show you how to make that change. So let's go back to our CMS, and let's go back to the list that we've been working on called Staff. And then from here, I'm going to click on the button that says List Settings. Here is where you can change how the list is laid out. So, for example, the default sort column right now is not selected. So let's change this to say last name. Then you can choose which direction you want it to be sorted by, ascending or descending. So we're going to select ascending here. Now you can also change some of the layout settings on the A to Z index, including the display column for what shows up. You can choose any of the fields or columns that you've selected. So now click on Save. And now let's go back and let's take a look at the page and see if the sorting has changed. So I'm going to click on Preview next to my site. And now you will see that the module is now sorting by last name with A being the first letter.